What's up, everybody? It is Homework Monday here in Ohio, early October. Right now, as all these bucks transition out of their bachelor groups and really going on their lonesome, preparing for the rut, they're starting to expand their home ranges. And with that, they're going to be communicating with each other as they do that, as they start to travel. So any scrapes that they've hit in the past, likely they're going to start hitting again right now, especially, like I said, as they expand their home range. Today, I'm on a piece of public land that Dean and I scouted separately multiple times last year at the end of the season. And one of the things we're going to be, or the thing we're going to be using today, is our ONX Maps, and how great of a tool this is to share the waypoints on the maps, especially, like I said, when Dean and I aren't together. We scouted this piece probably like 3 or 4 different times, and I think only one time we were together. And at one point, Dean found a what we call a primary scrape, which looked like just a scrape that the deer use all year long, something that's a great communication station and a great checkpoint for trail cameras to take inventory on what's actually in here. So he marked it on his ONX Maps as a waypoint, and today he's not with me once again. So go back and show you guys. So he literally just shared his waypoint with me on ONX. I click on it, it pops up right here. I say yes, I want to add it, and I can literally zoom in right to about the same area as the scrape is going to be. You can see my track from earlier that I literally tracked myself shed hunting, and I tried to stay in all the cover areas or just right on the edge of the cover areas. So you can see this scrape is right outside of like a bedding area, or what we had kind of scouted as a bedding area, right on the edge of this field. And it just looks like a great travel corridor, especially, like I said, early October. Right now, these bucks are going to be ramping up their activity, especially their daylight activity. They're going to be ramping up and putting some miles on the hoof come the next couple weeks. And this is going to be a great travel area to have a camera on. We've never hunted this piece of public land before in Ohio. But today, like I said, it's homework day. I want to get a camera out. And since I didn't know where the scrape was, you can see that I completely bypassed it. Dean sent me the waypoint, and so I'm going to scoot down there and just check out the area. He said it would be pretty obvious, the overhanging branches and the trail that this that scrape was on. It was kind of on a little bench in between 2 little hills leading up to the side of this, or the edge of this field. So like I said, Dino was able to share the waypoint with me, even though we're not together. We're getting scouting done together through ONX Maps, and I'm going to go hang a camera down here, and we are going to start the process on dissecting this property to see if there's anything worthwhile in here, anything that we want to chase once the rut comes around late October. Cruising along the backside of this field. This was all corn last year, and this year it's beans, and it hasn't been cut yet. But if you look, you can see all the leaves taken off of these beans right here. I mean, you can see all the stems along here that's showing some of the browse pressure. I mean, really, a lot of these leaves are taken off, but it's going to be the green ones, the brown ones that you see are all falling off naturally. But these green ones, the edges where they're all stems like this, those have all been nipped off by the deer. And if I pull up my ONX, you can see, you can't because of the glare of the sun, but you can see I'm making my way down to the waypoint, almost to exactly where I walked last year and just shot in right here. But we'll probably got to go another 40 or 50 yards down to where Dean was noticing the scrape. There's kind of a little trail opening that comes out right here. I'm just gonna bop in here, and this scrape area should be right in here. I mean, it's not far off this field at all. Yeah, you can see where, I mean, it's like, look at that. We are on it. Dino was right. That's crazy. Look at they're scraping under both of these, actually. I don't know if you guys can see that with the glare or not, but we are X marks the spot on these two scrapes right here. And it makes sense. You can kind of see how these deer would cruise the inside of this field line right here on this little bench all the way down. So given that given that these two scrapes are right here, I think I'm gonna put a camera up right on this tree. If I can kind of get both of them, if it's against this tree, you can get both of the scrapes, and it can still kind of angle down towards the like where they're coming and going from. But that's pretty cool. I mean, literally, that scouting was done in January. Dean's app said January 2nd is when he marked this waypoint, and you can see these deer are still using it. And we're gonna put up a camera right here to get some information to see what deer are actually using it. Alright, so we're going to doctor it up with a little bit of a Buck Picks pack. There's a new SD card in here that we already used. There's a can of Vanishing Hunter, and then the most important part of the branch action and the dirt fusion. Branch action goes on the licking branches, dirt fusion goes in the dirt. I'm actually going to probably scrape a little bit more out of here and just make it a massive communication station. So gonna do that and get on up out of here. There's a scrape over here, and then we're gonna come at it with some dirt fusion. Give it a little dribbly, a little dribble on that one, and then on the edge of this, right on the path. I'm gonna make one more little scrape. Put some dirt fusion in there, and we're good to go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, I'm taking the long way in. I gotta get all the way back into that woods, and then back that way a little bit. There's another guy hunting over there, so I'm trying to respect what he's doing. Stay away from him for the evening. I wanted to get back into this corner anyway. It's just a little bit of a longer walk this way, but that is all right. It's crazy. This is a completely different spot than it was, with no foliage on the trees or anything. Show you guys this. You can see I have these 3 waypoints marked, and you can, hang on a sec, let me zoom in. You can kind of see where I walked already. Where I walked already this spring, and I'm gonna set the tracker. Number 1, I don't really want to get lost back here, but I'm gonna try and make it to that middle waypoint. There was a lot of acorns in there and some scrape activity. I'm gonna see if I can navigate through this jungle. noticeable crossing right here, so public land, that's what you're gonna get. Kind of in the right spot, I think. This is the first spot I've been where you can just hear the acorns dropping, and you can see that's just newer acorns, and the deer are hammering them. At least that's what it seems. I really want to find a scrape. I know there's got to be one. I mean, this is an absolute just thicket right here. Alright folks, well, I'm way back in here. The acorn flat that I marked on my waypoint is way up there. Not way up there, maybe like 60, 70 yards up this way. We found a main trail and a scrape that they're already hitting right here. So I got the cell camera up. I'm gonna act like there's a new sheriff in town with some dirt fusion and throw a little branch action up on the branches, and even a couple back in here, so it gets them all riled and tells them there's a new sheriff in town. Oh my gosh, I'm getting eaten alive by bugs. I'm getting eaten alive. Literally destroyed with bugs. Come on. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, that should be good. Let's get on out of here. Getting closer to the field. Pretty much here. I'll tell you what, that was a mission. But it was mission accomplished. The acorns back there are loaded. They're loaded. And I wanted to find a scrape, so I didn't have to make a mock scrape. And I did. So it was mission accomplished. I'm pumped. Well folks, we're signing off from the public land here in Ohio. Our quest, our mission for a public land buck has officially begun, although it already began before. But hope you guys learned a little something from that with the ONX Maps and how you can really utilize the ONX Maps all year long to scout deer. It's amazing the information that we were able to get in the springtime, late winter, early springtime, and then put that information to use right now in early October, right before these bucks start ramping up. And the cool part was the inclinations that we had and the waypoints that we marked originally were correct. So you can really do a lot of scouting, and if not a majority of your scouting, in that late winter, early spring, when you're walking looking for sheds and you're using the deer trails that are beat down and that are, you can see them because there's no foliage and it's still, snow's just melted. It's a lot easier to see sign. It's a lot easier to see heavy deer traffic areas. You mark those, store them in your notes, and utilize them once it becomes this time of year. You never know. I can't promise anything, but there's definitely some buck activity back there, I can tell you that much. So I'm excited for the next couple weeks. The one cell camera's way back there. We'll be able to get a good read on what's using that scrape. And then we got another camera that we'll have to check, but it's a lot closer to the road, so it'll be easier to get in and out of there. I'm excited. It's just, if people want that easy buck, they want to kill big deer, and you know, it's time and effort putting in the work, and it's a lot of work. You gotta use it as, or think of it as, a sprint or a marathon, not a sprint. It's easy to drop a corn pile somewhere, get in there and start hunting a deer, but when you put in the work and you can find the sign and basically use what the deer are telling you based on the sign, the track, trails, scrapes, rubs, all that stuff, when you can use that to your advantage, it's so much more gratifying.